Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, I'm Teni Anisah and I'm a student of 7th semester of English Education Department in Persatuan Islam University Bandung. And I'm making this video to fulfill my midterm test of Psycholinguistics. So on this video, I'm going to answer all of the questions and midterm test of Psycholinguistics. So to make it short, let's check it out. Okay, for the first question, why do we as English teacher candidate need to learn psycholinguistics? Psycholinguistics is the study that deals with mental processes a person uses in producing and understanding language. It is concerned with the relationship between language and human mind. For example, how word, sentence, and discourse meaning are represented and computed in mind. So that psycholinguistics has an important role in language learning, because by understanding psycholinguistics, a teacher can understand the processes that occur in students when students speak, read, write, and listen. So that when skills in language skill have a problem, teacher can see from a psychological point of view as an alternative solution, and it can help the teacher to consider the use of appropriate method to teach the language skills. So that is my answer. Okay, let's move to the next question. Explain each part of our brain and how's the function. Okay, the brain is one of the largest and the most complex organs in the human body. It is made up of more than 100 billion nerves that communicate in trillions of connections called synapses. The brain is composed of the cerebrum, cerebellum, and brainstem. So what's the function? Okay, cerebrum is the largest part of the brain and is composed of left and right hemisphere. It performs higher function like interpreting touch, vision, and hearing, as well as speech, reasoning, emotions, learning, and fine control of movement. And cerebellum is located under the cerebrum. Its function is to coordinate muscle movements, maintain posture and balance. And then for the last is brainstem. Brainstem acts as a relay center connecting the cerebrum and cerebellum to the spinal cord. It performs many automatic functions such as breathing, heart rates, body temperature, wake and sleep cycles, digestion, sneezing, coughing, vomiting, and swallowing. And then the cerebrum is divided into two halves, as I said before, that is the right and the left hemispheres. They are joined by a bundle of fibers called a corpus callosum that transmits messages from one side to the other. Each hemisphere controls the opposite side of the body. So the right hemisphere controls our left side of body, and the left hemisphere controls our right side of body, like that. And in general, the left hemisphere controls speech, comprehension, arithmetic, and writing, and the right hemisphere controls creativity, spatial ability, artistic, and musical skills. And the left hemisphere is dominant in hand use and language in about 92% people. Okay, and then the cerebral hemispheres have distinct features, which divide the brain into lobes. Each hemisphere has 4 lobes, as you can see on the slide on the picture: frontal, temporal, parietal, and occipital. Each lobe may be divided once again into areas that serve very specific function. It is important to understand that each lobe of the brain does not function alone. frontal lobe of the brain has a function in personality, behavior, emotion, judgment, planning, problem solving, speech, that includes speaking and writing, of course in Broca's area, body movement, intelligence, concentration, and self-awareness. And parietal lobe interprets language, words, sense of touch, pain, temperature. And this is a sensory strip, interprets signal from vision, hearing, motor, sensory, and memory, spatial and visual perceptions. And occipital lobe, this is interprets visions such as color, light, and movement. And the last is temporal lobe, and the function is understanding language. In Wernicke's area, memory, hearing, sequencing, and organization. So that's all the part of our brain and the function. Okay, for the third question, what is Broca aphasia? What is the difference with Wernicke aphasia? Broca aphasia, it is caused the impairment in motor aspect. The characteristic of Broca aphasia are reduced amount of speech articulation that distorted, slow and effortless speech, and comprehension is better than production. The person that have Broca aphasia can still read and understand spoken language, but has difficulty in speaking and writing. And this is different with Wernicke aphasia. While Wernicke aphasia, it is caused the impairment in sensory aspect, and its characteristics are difficulties in auditory comprehension, difficult to understand and finding correct word. And the individual that have Wernicke aphasia, they may speak and long sentences that have no meaning, add unnecessary word, and even create new word. They can make speech sound, however, they have difficulty understanding speech and are therefore unaware of their mistakes. So that is the difference of Broca aphasia and Wernicke aphasia. Broca aphasia causes the impairment in the motor aspect, while the Wernicke aphasia causes the impairment in sensory aspect. So that is the difference of Broca and Wernicke aphasia. Okay, for the next question, what is the difference between learning language and acquired language? What's the effect of learning and acquiring language? Okay, you can see on the slide there are the difference between acquisition and learning. So acquisition is gradual development and it happens naturally or subconscious, while the learning, it is conscious process. And then acquisition happens through interaction with ones who are native speakers. While the learning, it happens in school, college, and so many other. And then acquisition focus is on meaningful communication, not on grammatical form. This is different with the learning. Learning focus on the grammar, vocabulary, and rules, and it is learned in a controlled manner. And then learning focus is on grammar, not in communication, meaningful communication. And then the result of acquisition is implicit knowledge, and the learners reach native fluency. This is different with the learning. The result of learning is explicit knowledge, and someone who learn some language often difficult to reach native like fluency. And the last is acquisition produce ability, while the learning produce knowledge. So what is the effect of learning and acquiring language? If someone acquire a language, and they will know how to speak like a native. Not like native, but yeah, native speakers, and have a strong memories of all the words that they acquire. It is different with learning, because someone who learn a language often difficult to reach native like fluency. For example, me as Indonesian people and learn English as my foreign language, it's often difficult to me to reach native like fluency. Different with Sundanese language, because I was born in Bandung and I'm a Sundanese people. So I'm acquire the Sundanese language as my first language. So I can speak like a native. And if someone learn a language, they often have a difficulties to express something in a different language, or often or sometimes they will forget easily about the word. If someone learn a language like that, so that is the difference between learning and acquire language and the effect of it. Okay, let's move to the next questions. Which theories of language learning do you prefer to? Why? For myself, I prefer to cognitive learning theory. Why? But now I'm going to tell you the definition of cognitive theory first. Cognitive theory is a psychological approach to understanding how the brain works. It focuses on processes of the mind, and it argues that children or adults must develop their cognitive abilities and build their own mental image of the world. And cognitivism is all about the internal mental processes that are responsible for learning taking place, such as receiving, organizing, storing, and retrieval of information. An example of cognitivism is the way that we solve problems by using prior knowledge. So I think I prefer today's theory. Why? Because I know three theories of language learning. The first is behaviorism and nativism or naturalism. For the behaviorism, I think it is different with the cognitive, because behaviorism is stressed on the behavior and drilling like that. But behavior not to focus on a grammar. If someone speak and this such a wrong grammar, and we try to correct it, it will be hard, because it have already a behavior of that person. So I think no for behaviorism. And for nativism, we can just rely on someone's genetic, I think. So I prefer the cognitive learning theory, because as we know that the baby when they were born have a limited knowledge, but by the time they grow up, they can develop their brain, their knowledge, and know a lot of knowledge about the world. So they develop, that is the development of their brain. And I prefer to cognitive learning theory, because I think this is the combination between behaviorism and nativism. So we can just relate to behavior or to the genetic and talent of someone, but we have to improve our brain, our mind, our knowledge by ourselves, by using our prior knowledge like that. So I prefer the cognitive learning theory. Okay, for the last question, can we learn language without imitating stage? Why? And my answer, no, we can't. Yeah, we can't learn language without imitating stage. Why? Because human being will face imitating stage in some aspects in their life, including speaking or language. And it will be hard if someone learn a language without imitating stage, I think. Why? Because my experience told me that when I was primary school and senior high school and junior high school, my English teacher taught me by asked me to imitate their pronunciation in English, like that. For example, when we learn some new word, the teacher, my English teacher, will say it first and ask the student to repeat it in some pronunciation. So I think it's called by imitating stage. We imitate how the teacher pronunciation. So I think by imitating stage, it will be easier for us to learn a language. For example, when someone love watch like K-drama or anime or J-drama or India's movie, maybe they will I think this is conscious, yeah. They conscious that they will imitate some words of the movie that they learn, or the accent maybe. For example, if you like the British movie or the American movie, you will imitate their accent when speak something and when produce language, like that. For Korean drama, there are many other people that learn by watch Korean drama. Like they will imitate how the actress or actor speak. For example, like Molayo or Zincha, for example, like that. And in anime, maybe some people will imitate like Nani, like that. So I think imitating stage has important role in language learning, yeah, because it can help the student or the people who learn a new language to speak it more, more easily, like that. So I think my answer is no, we can't learn language without imitating stage. Yeah, because that is my reason. So I think that's all of my answer for Psycholinguistics Mid Term Test. And thank you for your attention. Thank you for watching, and see you next time, guys. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye bye.